morning and welcome to the price review after the hour of 9 on the 21st of July 2023. Today is Friday and you are with me, Helbert Katanda. I'm joined by
Paris Chizombe.
Good morning, Paris.
Good morning.
Well, how are you doing on a Friday morning?
It's a Friday. It's a Friday. You know the mood on Fridays.
And that's obvious.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we have the Nation newspaper and the Daily Times newspaper. So we are going to assess the happenings pertaining to what the papers have carried. And to begin with the Nation newspaper, on the front page there are two stories, and one of it being 3 trillion kwacha needed to meet energy targets. Malawi needs about 3 billion US dollars, which is about 3 trillion kwacha to meet targets for energy collections and demands prescribed in Malawi 2063, the country's long-term development strategy, a World Bank report shows. In its July 2023 issue of the Malawi Economic Monitor, the bank says Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi will have to triple its connection rate from 35,000 connections per year to 100,000 to ensure that the country can achieve the target of raising electricity access to 50%. That's the thing. We need about 3 trillion kwacha to stabilize the electricity supply in Malawi. I mean, do you see this happening anytime soon?
No.
Why?
No. As a country, no. I think this is just going to be the unsung song. Yes. I don't think that is going to be possible.
Yeah, because
the way I know Malawi, even if we are to source those funds, I don't think they're going to be put to our, they're going to be allocated to be used in whatever
in appropriate way, because if you look at the amount, they are saying 3 billion US dollars, which is about 3 trillion kwacha. And when you look at our budget, our budget, that's for the whole year, financial year, it's almost about 3 point something trillion kwacha, 6 point something trillion kwacha. So that means if we are to put this amount of money just to the energy sector, what are we going to remain with?
Yes, like totally nothing. I don't know. And I don't see it happening soon. As a country, we joke a lot, Komano. I don't know.
All right.
I also have a similar story to that one. Here, the headline reads, World Bank warns Malawi on butter, and a sub-headline needs towards currency-based exchange. And part of the story is the World Bank has said Malawi is unlikely to benefit from butter arrangements with private firms in other countries. The caution by the World Bank follows recent revelations that on May 18, 2023, Malawi signed a fertilizer deal with Romania Thum East Bridge Estate SRL, which could see the country shipping out produce worth nearly 500 billion kwacha. It also follows reports that Malawi is working on a similar arrangement with the government of Egypt. Recently, the Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets Authority said Malawi does not have a legal framework for butter, and in its 7th Malawi Economic Monitor released on Wednesday, the bank says butter arrangements are unlikely to address the fact that Malawi's exports are little value.
Exactly. I agree with what the World Bank is saying, depending on what the Daily Times newspaper has written. It says clearly that we are not benefiting from the butter because we do not have a legal framework. I think first and foremost is to describe what is butter. Butter is the process of which Malawi or other countries allow private companies from other countries to be investing as well as to be trading on various aspects. So now this is Malawi. Firstly, it was in 2022 when we sent money, over 750 million kwacha to a butchery. Now, and now we also sent the alleged 6.5 billion kwacha to a fueling company. So That's what the World Bank is saying, that we are not benefiting because there is no legal framework.
Yeah.
I don't think if we are if we are to go at the office of the Attorney General, ask him to produce a legal framework on how barter is supposed to be conducted in Malawi, he's going to be able to do that. Of course, he might produce certain legal. He might produce some laws, but they just related to that.
Yes.
But they cannot be exactly designed for barter. So if we are to achieve that barter arrangement as a country, I don't think the way we are conducting our things in Malawi can move us very far.
And I don't think we are going to achieve that.
Yeah.
Not
So,
anytime soon.
at least the World Bank has provided a solution after cautioning us that we are not benefiting from barter. We are not likely to benefit from barter anytime soon. It has told us to construct a legal framework.
Yes.
So if we are to construct that legal framework and be following that, I think we are going to benefit from barter. But if we are not doing anything, or if we are not putting into account what the World Bank has proposed, I don't think Malawi will benefit from that barter arrangement.
And also, I think now we need to add more value on what we export to other countries.
All right, still on the front page of the Nation newspaper, varsity selection under scrutiny. And that's, of course, the headline. There is a sub-headline which says, CSEC says right to education under threat. Partly the story says Malawi's 6 public universities may have opened doors to a record of 8,552 students this year, but about 10,000 other eligible candidates have not made it due to lack of space. The situation has prompted quality education activists to challenge government to invest in infrastructure to ensure that access to University of Education is open to qualifying candidates. Well, this issue will never come to its resting point in as far as we only have 6 public universities. So all these 10,000 students were expected to be selected in those universities. So now you see that there is a gap. I don't think 6 public universities can sustain
Like for the whole country. And if you look at the universities and the number of students that we have and we produce each and every year, those that written just written their MSCE, you will see that with the ratio, it's not even
tallying.
Yes,
I don't see that tally, because if you look at let's take an example of Chancellor College. You see that only few students boarding there, but most of them they live in Chiganda, Chinamwali. It's not their wish. They may wish to be staying at the university, but the only challenge is there is no space for them to be residing there. So these are some of the characteristics showing that Malawi, we really need to do something in as far as public universities are concerned.
That 56, is it 56 or 58? 58 years?
Yeah, 59.
59, right?
Yeah.
Yes, 59 and do this news, no, it's not.
I was also thinking that if, let's say, I don't know, I'm not an education expert, but to my own opinion, I was thinking that if the government was to say, okay, how many private universities do we have in Malawi? So if they were to bring the private universities here and say, okay, in as far as university selection is concerned, I think we may be able to be sending other students to your universities. Let's have a memorandum of understanding on how we are going to implement this issue. So that would be beneficial, at least to students, Malawi, as well as those private universities. All right.
Moving on here on this third page of the daily newspaper. The headline reads, Court convicts frees Chinese Susu. And part of the story leads Luke, a China national who was arrested in July last year for capturing videos of children using racist language in Lilongwe's Njewa area. Yesterday walked to freedom after the Lilongwe Principal Resident Magistrate Court sentenced him to 12 months in prison. Ru, commonly known as Susu, walked to freedom after he had already spent 12 months in jail. Lilongwe Principal Resident Magistrate Rodrick Michongwe convicted Susu on his own guilty plea. During yesterday's court appearance, state lawyer Dzikondiantu Malunda told the court that Susu had paid 16 million kwacha as compensation to 13 children he exploited as part of pre-bargaining.
All right, that's what happens in the court. There is that kind of scenario when they say plea bargaining. Someone has pleaded guilty to his own charges, so at least at that time they provide a fair judgment in as far as they say you have not spent you've not wasted our time as the court. So what happened yesterday in the court is that the High Court said Shushu was supposed to get a 12 months sentence. He was supposed to be in jail with hard labor for 12 months. So during the time he was arrested, after he was expedited from Zambia, where he was caught in, he has spent 12 months in prison. Yeah, so he was remanded to Maula prison, where he spent 12 months. So they said that, okay, you were there for 12 months. So those 12 months you were supposed to be outside, but since you were in jail, that means the sentence we are giving you today as a 12 months sentence has already been saved during the time you've spent in jail. So now on that they said, okay, now you are free as any other citizen, but he has been ordered to leave the country within 7 days. In the court of law they call it persona non grata. I don't think it's if they pronounce it that way. if I was a lawyer it could have come out very clearly, but yeah, that's the case. So we are expecting him to leave the country. That means he's not welcomed in Malawi. If they say you've been declared persona non grata, you're not welcomed in the country. So he's supposed to leave within these 7 days from yesterday. So that's the case.
It's his second day. He's remaining with. He's remaining with how many?
6 days.
6 days.
Yeah. So if it was yesterday, then it's 5. Obviously, it's 5. So, but now the issue comes on the composition, the 16 million kwacha composition. I mean, in terms of distribution, how is government going to conduct it? I mean, how are the exploited children going to benefit from that money? There needs to be transparency and accountability.
There needs to be a forum on that to make sure that the 13 children have really received the money, because it can also have been written on paper that the 13 children have received the money. But then if you go on ground to ask them, be like, no, we didn't even receive a penny. So I think we need that story before that.
All right, moving on now, let's have a quick look at some of the business stories appearing in both the Nation and the Daily Times newspapers. In the Nation newspaper, on one of the business pages, there appears tobacco earnings failing to impress. And of course, that's the headline. There is a sub-headline which says experts calls for aggressive diversification drive. Partly the story says despite registering improved revenue and the 2023 tobacco marketing season, earnings from the main foreign exchange earner crop, doubled grain gold, remain below the country's imports needs, data shows. AHL Group data shows that earnings from the leaf has generated 273 0.62 million US dollars, which is about 29 billion kwacha, which is about 291 billion kwacha rather, in the 17 weeks of their sales. This is a rise from the 141.6 million US dollars, which is about 150 billion kwacha, released during the same period last year. Well, that's the thing. Agricultural experts have been talking about it. They have requested for farmers, tobacco farmers, to find other alternative ways on how they can be growing other crops in order to gain money instead of focusing on tobacco. But this year, I think there is that difference. We've seen a difference that the tobacco has generated more income if we compare it to last and the other previous years. So the issue which is here is about the it's about the foreign earnings. I don't think well all right, let's I think it's figurative in nature, but we just hope that as a country we are going to find another way of how we can do it. And
because if you look at the farmers, the ones that do the tobacco farming, they only focus on tobacco. Maybe they don't even grow any other crop that is there to sustain them in their day-to-day life. So I think it's a good initiative that they are being encouraged to also doing another farming apart from the tobacco farming. All right, here on the business part, the headline leads: ESCOM gets 20 million US dollars for energy storage system. Part of the story leads: Electricity Supply Corporation has secured a 20.2 million US dollars grant to establish an energy storage system dubbed the Battery Energy Storage System BESS. The facility is expected to be planted at Kanengo substation. In a statement, ESCOM says the funds will be provided by the Global Energy Alliance for People and the Planet GEAPP. All right. And then it also leads the 20.2 million US dollars. It will be used for procurement, installation, testing, commissioning, and operationalization of the system equipment.
We on the front page of the Nation newspaper, we read that Malawi, the energy sector rather, in as far as electricity supply is concerned, it needs about 3 trillion kwacha. Okay, so now the ESCOM has gotten 20 million US dollars.
Yes, which is 20.2 million.
If we were to be reducing that, now since we've gotten 20 million US dollars, I think now, let's say from the 3 trillion kwacha, how much do we remain with? Other than just telling us we need 3 trillion kwacha now, and next year they will tell us the same story. We need 3 trillion kwacha. So we are going to be asking questions. So what did you do with the 20 million US dollars you got last year?
That's in Malawi.
All right. So now
I think we can move on to the arts and culture segment.
All right.
Should I start?
Yes.
All right. Here, headline leads: Malawi has talent. Here's for national elimination show. Part of the story leads: after unveiling the FETI Act recently, Malawi has talent read by Times Group in partnership with First Capital Bank gets to the national elimination stage to be held at Bingo International Convention Center in Lilongwe on July 30, 2023. Chairperson of Malawi Has Talent organizing team Wanda Msisha, who is also Times Television station manager, said yesterday that all was set for the national elimination show on July 30 and that people should study for the finest.
All right, so in arts and culture, in the Nation newspaper, there are 3 stories on this page, and one of it being Gwamba calls for corporate support. That's, of course, the headline, and partly the story says gospel hip-hop artist Gwamba has said Malawian artists can ably compete with their colleagues for the region if they receive adequate financial support. The rapper made the remarks on Wednesday afternoon when telecommunications company TNM PLC unveiled a 5 million kwacha partnership for his Gwamba unlimited concert slated for August 26 at Kamuzu Stadium, at Mzuzu Stadium rather, that's in Mzuzu. He got 5 million kwacha from TNM. Kudos to TNM. It has always been with us, as their motto says,
yes,
always with you. Yeah, it has always been with us, and we must say, not only in the entertainment industry, not only in the music sector,
yes.
but it has also been there in the sports. It has been showing corporate social responsibilities. It has also been there in politics.
Yes.
You know, they once played a crucial role in the 2019 elections. They were providing internet to make at the mentally center. So it has always been there with us.
Actually, giving back to the society.
Yeah, of course, it gets a lot from us. That's how it's supposed to do.
I think other companies can take leave to
yeah. You know, when COVID-19 showed its ugly face here in Malawi, I think we were complaining as a country that we are losing a lot of money. But there were some companies that were making profits. You would turn the newspaper and say, Ilovo Sugar has made a certain profit, 3% increase compared to last year. So we were asking ourselves questions. What do they do for them? How? This is a time when everyone is lamenting that, no, I'm losing a lot of money. Personally, the country is also lamenting that as government, we are losing a lot of millions since there is COVID-19. But how are you managing to make profits? So that's when I knew that it's us. The money we lose, that's what they get.
Yes.
So they were supposed to be giving back to the society.
Yes.
So that's what exactly TNM is doing. And other companies, they are supposed to do that as well.
All right, moving on here on the 5th page of the Daily Times, headline reads, Lost History in Mwambo Wansembe Yamasika. That's the headline. Part of the story reads, Lost History Foundation has organized a libation ceremony, Mwambo Wansembe Yamasika, to be held at Botanic Gardens in Zomba. The libation ceremony, which is aimed at thanking God for the harvest, will also be spiced up by music performances and traditional dances. The event comes Berry 5 months after Lost History Foundation also held a libation ceremony at its studios in Namiwawa, Blantyre, which was aimed at calling upon ancestors and Namalenga for protection in the aftermath of Cyclone Freddy, as well as Thanksgiving for 2023.
All right, there is another interesting piece here. BCC remains in ruins, and that's of course the headline. Partly the story says Milan singer and songwriter Salif Keita, popularly known as Golden Voice of Africa, was probably the last international artist to hold a performance at the French Cultural Center in Luntha. His historical performance at the entertainment venue came before the government of Malawi bought the facility from a French government and renamed it Blantyre Cultural Center. The takeover, in a way, signified the end of the memorable chapter in the history of entertainment under FCC banner. For years, the FCC was everything associated with entertainment in Malawi. Actually, it was really everything. In Blantyre, if you ask anyone about where does entertainment live in Blantyre, probably that person is going to tell you that it's the BCC, Blantyre Cultural Center. That time it was called the French Cultural Center. But now they are saying we are renovating it. Yeah, we are renovating it. Nothing is happening as the picture shows. I think it's proper if we show Malawians that this is how it's working currently.
That's how the renovation
according to the
going.
Nation newspaper, that's how the facility is looking at the moment.
After renovation. Alright, maybe I should just take the last one on the arts and culture segment. Here, the headline leads Afro Amapiano duo makes strides, and part of the story leads budding Afro Amapiano act Kenyo and the 8th Fest. Is it Kenyo? That's how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Okay. Martinez have said they are happy with the steps they have made in their music. Their remarks comes following their dropping of a single titled 2-2, which has seen them collaborating with Kerry K. The duo has also indicated that it is ready with another new track titled Itamutenga. We are happy with the support that people have given us in our previous songs, and this motivated us to work on another track. We are fed up. That was what the duo had to say. Have you listened to the Tamudenga song?
No, I haven't listened to it.
You should.
I'm yet to. But I have since gotten their touch. I have experienced their touch on the 2-2 Kariboribo.
Yeah.
The guys have they have good voices. Actually, their lyrics are also very impressive.
Top-notch.
Yeah, and I might say they are the future of the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should listen to the Tamudenga song. It's
Yeah,
really nice.
definitely. Right after this
Yeah.
program, I'm
Yes, you have
gonna
to
tune
listen
into
to
YouTube
it.
and
It's
listen to
really
the song.
nice.
And
And then the
next
people-
time when I'm gonna come here,
Yes.
actually, I'm gonna talk about that.
And the people were saying that guys, it's the Todo Dadora Male, there's the second division of the Dadora Male. It's something like
Similar.
Yeah, it's a similar. That's a similar message.
Oh,
I think
the
we are in
message is
yeah,
related.
Yeah,
Okay.
the message is related.
All right.
And then
All right,
we can
that
move
also
to the-
wraps up our today's edition of the Praise Review. Remember, today is on a Friday.
Yes.
On a Friday. I think we can say it more than once. On a Friday, on a Friday, on a Friday.
Yeah, it's on a Friday.
All right, on the 21st of July, 2023. My name is Helbert Katanda, and I was joined by...
Palace Chizonge.
Remember, you can get the copies of the Nation and the Daily Times newspapers at the price of 1,200 kwacha. Until next time, goodbye.